but I have not set up everything perfectly, so I'm just gonna set up. I'm just gonna set up everything now. I decided to go live a little bit before we're gonna have a We the Free outreach now. Hey Marcus, hello. Can you hear me okay? Hey VPM, sorry I couldn't make it to your live yesterday. I was loud and clear, perfect. I was with a friend. We were celebrating their birthday, vegan friend, so that's cool. And yeah, I was curious about what it was about. I haven't had the chance of watching it yet. Gulkin says, "Good morning from Montreal." Hey Gulkin, nice to see you. Hello Martin. It's not cold today. It is. The weather is great. It's like not cold, not warm. It is very windy though. It's very windy. So I'm hoping nothing gets knocked down as we're sitting here, and I'm also hoping people don't get scared because of the weather, because that's usually the issue with the weather. It's not me standing in the weather, but rather people getting scared of the weather. Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Hello, happy Sunday to you too. Oh, I'm so happy that this whole week is over. To be honest, that's definitely has been a week for me, and I'm just looking forward for some normality, back going back to my routine, and I'm not sure if I'll get there this week, but definitely soon. So yeah, I'm also still a bit tired, to be honest. Let's see. We have like an hour, maybe an hour and a half to do some outreach. You want to try a social experiment? There's not a lot of people, sadly, here. I do have to be here because this is where we'll be holding the We the Free event. It does get a little bit busier. Carl says I'm early here. Hey, Carl, nice to see you. How is everybody doing, by the way? How has your week been? How has your Sunday been so far? Your weekend? I think for most of you, Sunday is just starting, or it's just like midway. So it's probably gonna get better. That's what we're hoping. It gets better. But yeah, I've been I've been pretty. I've had a pretty full week. I don't know if even if I would call it busy. I feel like busy. You sometimes call yourself busy. Hi, you want to try a social experiment? We have a tour. We're late. We're running. Sure. Enjoy. Hey Chip. Hey Jake Lagatare. Nice to see you here. Hey Angel07, nice to see you here. Martin says, great week, very hot here now. Martin, oh, that kind of sucks, I guess. I don't really like it when it's too hot. Huh? It's difficult to sleep. Um, it's difficult to go out. It's difficult to stay in. I think you have AC probably, right? So, why you come live after I ordered burger? Um, Carl, I'm assuming you acknowledge that the whole world does not revolve around you and what you are doing. So personally, up until right now, I wasn't even very much aware of your existence. So the fact that you came to this live, I appreciate it, but please also be aware that I don't do things for you. I got rained out 2 days in a row, says Jake Lagatare. Wow. Wanna try it? Just some questions.
Yeah, maybe.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Uh-huh.
What's your name?
Leila,
Leila, nice to meet you. I'm Chip.
nice to meet you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Turkey.
From Turkey. Okay.
Yeah.
So Leila, tell me, how do you feel about animals in general? Do you like them? Do you dislike
I
them?
love them. I
You
have
love
to.
them. You have to? What
Yeah, I
animals
have
do you
to.
have?
It's one of them. It's we find on the road. It's alone, and
Yeah.
then we adapt it. The Nico name is. The other one is the Elju, and also we take him on the Baranak, or I don't know in English name. Yeah.
See, I see. So you found two
Really?
stray cats, right?
Yeah, I have cat and dog.
A cat and dog.
Two
and
dog
you-
and one cat.
Two dogs and one cat. You
Yeah.
you rescued them from the road and you are taking care of them now.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh, that's beautiful to hear.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
to hear. So I guess then the next question should be a nonsensical question, but I'll ask it anyway.
Okay.
So do you think that animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions are impacting them, then
Uh-huh.
we should consider their well-being.
Yeah. I'm. Could you ask again?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
So let me put it this way. So if something we're doing
Yeah.
is impacting them,
Exactly.
should we consider them also? Should it consider how it impacts them?
And also, I'll organize to some the groups, an agency, or I called them and then I picked up. I want to do maybe it's the. I do the everything for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do think that they deserve to be considered if we're doing something that impacts them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate that. Do you
Yeah.
think that applies to all animals or just cats and dogs?
No, all animals.
All animals.
All animals.
Okay. So here comes the difficult part. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, do you think cows, chickens, pigs deserve the same moral consideration?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Do you think that if you are consuming an animal product, are you giving them that consideration?
No.
No. Are you vegan yourself?
Are you
Vegan.
vegan? No.
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 No. So you do consume
Yeah,
some
yeah,
animal
it's
products.
confused. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But you do see the conflict in it, right? Do you understand that there's because on one side you say I love animals, but on the other side you pay for animals to be killed for you. So isn't that like contradictory?
I'm not vegan, but it's I very very less. Sometimes it's not at home. Um, yeah, it is really confused part of them. It's not so much. I maybe it's very the red line in here.
But let me ask you this: if we send a chicken to a slaughterhouse
Uh-huh.
and then we send a dog to the same slaughterhouse, do you
Same.
think
Yeah.
they would feel differently?
Yeah, you are right.
They would
Yeah,
both
yeah,
feel
yeah,
the same in the
Same.
that slaughterhouse, right? So, if I would ask you, would you ever send a cat or a dog to a slaughterhouse? I'm assuming you would say no, right? But when it comes to cows, chickens, and pigs, it's something is happening over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then, what do you want to do going forward? Because what was in the past was in the past. But going forward, do you want to continue on this trend where you say you love animals, but then you pay for some of them to be killed, or do you want to stop and go vegan?
Stop.
Stop. Oh my God, that's amazing. I appreciate it when not a lot of people say that. A lot of
Yeah.
people start coming up with
Yeah,
justifications.
because in my confusion all the times and like the problem in my mind. Yeah, stop.
I appreciate that. Okay, so is there anything holding you back from going vegan right now and saying no more animals to be exploited for you?
Oh, why not? Yeah.
That's-
Why
that's-
not?
that's
It's the
beautiful.
real one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Let me
Yeah.
give you, before you go, let me just give you one card. It will help you out. So I recommend you watch either Dominion or The Most Important Speech You'll Ever Hear. They both pop up if you scan this QR code. And then you have a thing there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day, and help you go vegan for free. Okay?
Okay.
No more animals exploited for you.
Okay.
You're a true animal lover. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Everybody, this is how a conversation should go. That was insane. I was not expecting her to say, yeah, I want to change. Oh my God, Renee, you always donate. Thank you so much. Veganism is very logical and reasonable principle. We simply acknowledge the interests of other sentient beings and weigh them against our own to stop cruelty and exploitation. Vegan, just be it. Heck yeah. That was so nice to see that she didn't become defensive, and That's very rare. Very rare it happens to us. Renee, by the way, thank you. Everybody, if you want to put some W's for Renee for donating, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, good start, Martin, indeed. Good start. Yeah, somebody, J, child of God, said fried chicken. Yeah, that's a good argument. That's a good argument. You're right. Coming up with somebody's asking you about animal exploitation, abuse, and slaughter, that is essentially needless. And then you come up with the argument fried chicken. You're right. You should be a philosopher. Oh, that's so funny. What are you protesting for? I'm not really protesting. I'm trying to have productive conversations with people, trying to discuss animal ethics more than anything. Most people on this earth would say that they love or that they respect animals, but then again, at the same time, people will go around and pay for them to be exploited and slaughtered. So there you go. That's a bit of a contradiction right there. And no, you should not discriminate if an animal is born a different species because that's just not fair. No animal chooses to be born the species that they're born in. Imagine a chicken is born a chicken and then all of a sudden you say, well, you're born a chicken, I better cut your throat at less than 10% of your natural lifespan. But hey, if you were born a parrot, I would have said, hey, look how cute you are, and I would have tried to give you some love. So, yeah, let's not do that. What time is it? It's 12:30 a.m. Well, no, p.m. Sorry, I always get confused about the a.m., p.m., 12. I much more subscribe to the 24-hour time normally, but it is 12:30 p.m. I guess. Eat vegan, no exploitation, less overall violence caused. It's the humane choice. Well said, Renee. Where? Well, I am in Amsterdam right now. It's Museumplein. That's interesting. Martin says, please don't spam. I just saw that now. I mean, to be honest, I don't see the spam in the chat, you know? Like, so maybe there is some filtering that is done for me when I see it here. So maybe a lot of the times, guys, if you're going to be spamming and you expect me to read some of the messages, I probably won't because you're spamming. So, you know, refine your messages, be decent, ask once or twice. I only see like 4 or 5 messages going up. So, yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Benji, thank you so much. And Carl says B12 left the chat, Carl. Well, Carl, you know, me as a person had the B12 deficiency while I was consuming animal products. So I had to go to the doctor and get B12 shots. This was before I went vegan. So yeah, you can't get B12. You're not guaranteed that you'll be having the necessary amounts of B12 from animal products anyway, because B12 normally comes from a bacteria, and because of our fucking up of the ground, there's less of that bacteria, there's less of the nutrients that bacteria needs to eat to produce B12. So we're just in a situation where animals nowadays are fed B12 vitamins actually. And that essentially means that when you are consuming an animal product, you are just getting a second-hand supplement. So of course that may yield good results, but it can also yield not good results. Just like for me, right? I was deficient before even... Hey, you want to try a social experiment? I just ask you some questions, but are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Can you come over here so that you're in view? What's your name?
Falto,
Falto. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Argentina.
Argentina.
And you?
I'm a Chip. I'm from Romania originally, but I live here.
Okay.
So, Falto,
Yeah.
how do you feel about animals in general?
I feel like they are important. They deserve to be respected. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have much to say.
So animals deserve respect. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Okay. Do you think that the respect for animals implies also considering them if our actions are impacting them?
Again, sorry.
So if our actions are impacting an animal,
Yeah.
then do you think we should consider them?
Consider them in which way? Like
In way-
consider if our actions are right.
Yeah, exactly. Consider if our actions are right. Consider if we should even be doing that action,
Yeah,
knowing
yeah.
that it impacts an animal in a way maybe that animal does not prefer. Then should we consider that the well-being of that animal or everything?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we should. Okay, I appreciate that. Do you think this applies to all animals or just like maybe cats and dogs?
No, it applies to every animal.
Okay. So And here comes the hard part. Do you think that this also applies to the animals that we normally exploit, like the cows, the chickens, the pigs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you vegan yourself?
Are you?
Vegan?
No, I'm not.
No. So then do you see that because if you're not vegan, when you buy an animal product, you are essentially paying for exploitation of an animal?
Yeah, it's true.
Do you think that when you're doing that, you are considering them?
Yeah, and I feel like it needs to change, and in order for it to change, the beginning of this change is in every person.
Yeah.
So I think that everyone, it's not like pointing to the big companies and that's it. I feel like everyone's mindset needs to change, but I think that takes time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I probably still do it. Like I know it's not right, but I feel like it takes time to, I don't know.
To change?
Yeah.
So wait. So you acknowledge that when you consume an animal product or when you buy an animal product, you are doing something that is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then, what would get you to change that, right? Because that. Do you know what you call a person who says one thing but does another?
Yeah, a hypocrite or
Yeah, a
something.
hypocrite. Yeah. So what would get you to change to no longer be a hypocrite? You know.
Yeah. I don't really know. Well,
Speaking of parrots.
yeah, I feel like sometimes you might be struggling with something that hits you more directly, and I feel like what's how do you call it, like what's a life or the like what's something really necessary uh, goes before something that it's extremely necessary but not as necessary. So I feel like I'm doing other stuff at the moment, and I need to be okay with some, like I need to organize my life better to change other stuff, and I feel like I have other things to solve first.
Okay, I hear that quite often though. But like, let me ask you this: you make choices for yourself, right? When you
Yeah.
consume what you eat and everything, you make choices for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So, knowing that the choices that you're making is wrong, why not just make a different choice? It's the same amount of energy. It's not like
Yeah, it's
you would
true.
have to put in more energy or stay on the street like I do right now, right? I'm just saying make different choices. That's it. So why would that be difficult for you?
Probably because it's harder to get out of your comfort zone than just
Yeah.
keep going with what's already established.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's a very honest answer, and I appreciate that from you. Like, you're right. It is a bit of a comfort zone thing, but then if you consider the individuals, the animals that go into the slaughterhouse for you, you know, even if you do it once a week, let's imagine that one animal that goes and gets exploited for you. Do you think it's fair towards them because you refuse to go out of your
It's
comfort
fair.
zone?
No, of course not.
No. So, don't you think that, like, what would you say matters more, their life or your convenience?
Of course that they're alive. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. You seem like such a nice, compassionate person, man. But you know, like I go. If let me put it this way: if I go around saying women deserve respect, women deserve rights, but then I go around and I beat up women
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
remove their rights,
Yeah.
then I don't really respect women, right?
Yeah.
So, what I say matters, but what I do matters more.
Yeah, exactly.
So, in that sense, do you understand what you?
Yeah, I understand.
What
Yeah.
the relationship is?
I reckon that there are
Yeah.
some things that I'm doing wrong. That's right. But I feel that the beginning of the change is recognizing it.
This is a sign. You gotta change. This is the beginning of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
change.
it's
You
true,
gotta
it's
start
true.
the change. So how many more animals? This is a hard question. How many more animals should be exploited and slaughtered for you until you change?
Yeah, the less the better. I don't know. It's not an answer that I can give you honestly because I simply don't know.
Should it be more than zero?
No.
No. You can go. You can go away from here. I will not police you. You will not. You will not meet again ever. But you can go away from here, and make the right choices and
Yeah, it's true.
and put no more animals in
Yeah,
slaughterhouses.
it's true.
You can already do that. You
Yeah,
know. You
yeah.
don't need any push or anything. You can
Yeah, it's
already
true,
do
it's true.
that yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you a card. I
Can
appreciate
I
the
ask you like
conversation.
why you're doing all of this? I'm just curious.
I'm an animal rights activist. I
Yeah.
try to fight for animal rights and I
Yeah.
try to have conversations with people, try to get them to think a little bit and just make different choices because these animals that we exploit, they don't have a voice. A lot of the times they're kept in containers where you don't really see what happens to them. So essentially they're kept out of public eye and we need more awareness, more people to be aware of it, and people like you who maybe are a little bit of awareness but you're a bit disconnected from it,
Yeah.
connecting to it makes you make the change a little bit more, you know. And that's kind of how we get societal change in the end,
Yeah.
by just keep reminding people that hey, this shit is not nice, it's not right, so let's stop.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And where are you from?
Romania originally.
Oh, yeah, you told me.
Yeah, yeah, no worries, no worries. I remember you're from Argentina, but I forgot your name. What was your name?
Fausto.
Fausto. That's
Yeah,
an interesting
yeah.
name. I'm Chip. Fausto, I appreciate you having this conversation with me. Can you watch one of these videos just to learn a bit more? It's either Dominion or the most important speech you'd ever hear. You just
Okay.
gotta scan this QR code,
Okay.
and they appear there.
Okay. Okay.
And one more thing you have there, there's a thing there called Challenge 22.
Yeah.
They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day, and help you go vegan for free.
Okay.
Sounds like something you might need. You also have my YouTube channel if
Okay.
you want to listen to the conversation back
Okay.
and everything. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Fausto?
The only thing I'm asking you, just it's okay to be on live. Don't post it anywhere. Like leave it.
It's
on
going to
the, like,
remain live. Yeah, yeah, that's okay.
And
Yeah, I
when the
appreciate
live
that.
is over, it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
gone.
yeah. Well, it's still there because the live is not deleted, but like whoever watches the 2 hour live will probably also watch it like they've been watching this now.
Okay. Yeah.
I won't make a video of you. I won't
Yeah.
cut you and make a video.
Yeah. I don't want myself to be there on the internet. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate
Thank
that. I appreciate that. But you're a compassionate person. You should be proud of how you answer these questions. Not everybody does that, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
And make changes, okay?
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. A bit apathetic. I did not like that, but you know. It's a pretty good start so far. We have been having some good conversations. Richard Smith says, "Hey Chip, hey Richard Smith, nice to see you here. Hope he changes." Yeah, I hope so too. Even if he doesn't, you know, the thing about these outreaches, and that's why I tell more people to go out there and have conversations with people, because change is usually not linear, sadly. So people will be needing a little bit more reminders, a little bit more push. But that's what it is. Like we can't adjust which which part of their, I want to call it journey. It's kind of unfair to call it journey, but like, you know, which part of the journey towards being a fair person and no longer being a hypocrite. We can't select where people are in that journey. Because if we could, obviously I would rather have all the people be almost at their last step. I just have a conversations with them and then they go vegan. But a lot of the times they need a little bit more steps, a little bit more conversations. So maybe, I don't know, maybe so, like it depends on the person also, right? So maybe this person will be making some changes. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind, but it's pretty windy. After reaching my weight goal, I will still see animals as food, to be honest. Toto, you know humans are animals also. Are you gonna see humans as food also? Do you really disregard animals so much that you will see them as objects that you want to put in your mouth, chew them, and, you know, get some taste pleasure from it? Because it's not about nutrition, obviously. You can get nutrition from plants and plant-based products. So you're only doing this out of either convenience or taste or some combination of that. I don't know. Tradition or something like that. Which none of them are good enough justification, are they? So Toto, let me ask you this. Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
Sure.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure.
Can you come closer to the chain view?
Okay.
Nice. What's your name?
Christian.
Christian, nice to meet you. I'm Chip.
Hi.
Where are you from?
I'm from Cambridge, UK.
Cambridge, UK. Okay, I'm Chip. I'm from Romania originally, but I live here. So, how do you feel about animals in general, Christian?
I like them.
You like them?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions impact them, then we should consider their well-being.
Of course.
Of course, okay, I appreciate that. And do you think that all animals deserve that, or only the cats, the dogs, the ones that we like?
All animals.
All animals deserve that, okay. Do you think that when we're buying an animal product, like meat, cheese, eggs, all of this, that we are removing this moral consideration from the animal that was exploited or used unfairly to create that product?
That's a great question. Because I guess, you know, we are animals ourselves, right?
Yeah, yeah,
On
we are.
this world. And so therefore, as animals, we need to survive.
Yeah.
Right? And so by that very nature, we need to consider what the resources are available around us to be able to survive.
But do you think
And so-
animals are resources?
It's a great question. I guess animals eat other animals, right, for survival.
Sure.
And we need protein and we need all the nutrients that we can get to survive as well. And trying to get that just from plants is also difficult. And then I guess you could raise the same question about looking after plants and and the the other living organisms. So where do you stop on what's saying what's morally right and what's not morally right? Because plants are also living organisms.
We can go back. We can go back. You mentioned a lot of things, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you know what sentience is?
Sentience, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the capability to have a subjective experience. Animals have that, plants don't. And the
Okay.
reason why that is a good line to draw is because if somebody doesn't have sentience, they're not even a somebody anymore. They're just essentially an object that reacts. Plants are essentially biological objects that react to stimuli. They don't have an experience of the world per se, right? They don't remember their life. They don't. Oh, I remember having this emotion, this experience and stuff. Animals, just like us, have that. So I would say that's the only reason why we shouldn't be killing a human being, and the same reason why we shouldn't be killing an animal. You mentioned that we get nutrition from it. It's true, we can get nutrition from animal products, but we can also get nutrition from plants and plant-based products, everything that we need. Nowadays, maybe in the past it was different, but nowadays we don't. We don't need animal products anymore. So given that we don't need animal products anymore, and given that what we're doing to them is essentially cruel, and having a position where you say animals deserve moral consideration, wouldn't that logically imply that you should not be consuming animal products?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but where's the loophole then? Because if if you say I respect animals or animals deserve moral consideration, but then you don't give these animals moral consideration, knowing that you don't need to exploit them.
I mean, it's a good question. Are all animals equal in terms of the sort of, you talk about higher animal species and lower animal species, and
I just mentioned
are
sentience. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think there's a lot of interesting questions that you bring up, and I'm sure we're all considering what we do in our everyday lives to take sort of consideration of these things around us.
Yeah. So when it comes to like the sentience of animals, we have no way of knowing if some animals have richer subjective experience, some have less. I also have no way of knowing you have that, right?
Yep.
Like what I can say is logically that if they have kind of the same amount of senses, then those senses will create kind of the same subjective experience. They have emotions, they have therefore kind of the same senses. If they have more senses, which there are animals who have more, they might have an even richer subjective experience than we as humans do. So it depends, but as long as
there's a lot we don't know, right?
there's a lot we don't know, but we do know that they have a subjective experience of the world. We do know that they feel, that they emote, that they don't want to be killed as babies, nevertheless, because most of these animals are killed as babies in animal agriculture. So we know all this, and then when we say that, well, I think you deserve moral consideration, but then yet again, I'm going to pay for you to have your throat cut and chopped into pieces, just for something that I don't actually need, just because it's convenient or just because I'm used to it. Isn't that not giving them moral consideration?
I guess the question really is not whether it is or it's not giving them moral consideration. It's whether you align to the theory of moral consideration for animals, and everybody has different values, right? And so trying to say that one thing is right, one thing is wrong, I think isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. I think there's a lot of grey. And I think for we all have different opinions. Somebody could look at a piece of art and say, that's awful. Other people could look at a piece of art and say, wow, that's incredible. It really means something to me. A lot of these opinions can also be subjective. Oops. And I've got to go. But very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Wait, let me give you a card before you go. What's the movie? I'm sorry, everybody. Give me 1 second. As I said, the wind is pretty strong. Oh my God, Marcos made a donation. Chip, permit me to buy a vegan sandwich from the near fast food just to promote veganism and show some color label to the chat and say to all of you, I love you, be vegan. That's beautiful, Marcos. Thank you so much for the support, Marcos. I appreciate that. W for Marcos. You always support that. So sorry, my tripod fell. Can you guys still hear me okay? How's the sound? Because some things got disconnected and I just reconnected them. Yes, okay, perfect. Give me 1 second, let me put everything back and let's continue this outreach. Well, not this one because the guy, well, he was with his children and he ran. I mean, I guess his children were there. It wasn't necessarily his fault. I think he kind of wanted to have conversations. He still was going like around one thing or another. He was still coming up with excuses. But I did give him a card before he left, so maybe he'll pick up that card. That's the whole point with the cards that I'm making, the way I'm making, is so that people, I'm sorry, so that people, they pick up that card and they go like, oh, this does not make sense. Let me look at it, so that they get incentivized when they see the card. They pick it up and they go like, well, let me show you. I don't know how many of you are new to the channel, but let me show you the kind of cards that I give people. I give them with this card that says your perception is the only real difference. So they pick up this card from their pocket and they go like, that's an interesting thing to say. What is this guy? What was he saying anyway? So maybe they scan it and go around. Suizo, Suizo. You've been here in the channel for a long time, and I think, you know what? I think I will allow people to silence you if you're misbehaving or behaving yet again like a child. We're here to have conversations and be nice, okay? We're not here to spew misinformation or silly things, okay? We're here to be factual. We're here to be having productive conversations, essentially. But anyway, I don't really care. You can stay there. I don't really care about you. I'm just like saying, stop spreading misinformation. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you. You get frustrated. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help anybody. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, this conversation with the guy, okay, I don't know. I wish I could continue this conversation. This whole thing about animals eat other animals, I forgot to tackle also. But his whole thing that it's an opinion also, it would have been an easily debunkable thing simply by asking him the right questions, which I was going to do, but, sadly. What does animal freedom look like to you? What does animal freedom look like to me? Well, we consider animals as individuals, just like we do humans. Animals deserve moral consideration. They are individuals. They have a subjective experience of the world. Just because they don't speak our language, just because they don't talk how we do, just because they don't behave how we do, does not mean that they do not have a subjective experience, that they do not create experiences as they live, that they do not emote as they live, that they do not have a desire to not be exploited by anyone, that they have a desire to not be forcefully impregnated, a desire to have a family. They have a desire to have a family. We make them have babies and then we take the babies away from them. So we put animals in the absolute worst situations ever. Like imagine dairy cows, in order for them to produce milk, they have to be pregnant, so they have to have a baby. And you know what? Cows also have this desire to have a family, just like we do. It's not like our desire to have a family is all of a sudden this logical, rational thing. It's obviously an emotional, instinctive thing that we have. So why would we ever assume that an animal doesn't have it, right? So imagine that. A cow has that. A cow has this desire to have a baby. First of all, we do this horrific thing to them where we, against their consent, get them pregnant, which is insane. And then, after we do all that, what do you think happens afterwards? We take away their baby from them. So they can't even benefit from the shitty thing that we did to them. They can't even benefit from that. Because you know what? We say, no, we didn't make you have a baby to have a family and be happy about it. We made you so that we can exploit you for your milk, so that we can take everything from you. We take away your baby, we take away your milk. We do all that because we have power over you. Because we don't give a shit about you. That's what we do to cows. And if you, as a person who's listening to this, is not vegan and you are consuming animal products, like even milk, cheese, dairy, all this kind of stuff, you are essentially the person who's paying for all of this. You are supporting the intentional, forceful impregnation of cows, the intentional separation of their baby from their mother, and, the eventual killing if that baby is a male, and all that. So yeah, Don't be that person. Just don't be that person. Be a nice person. Respect the consent of everybody. Everybody deserves moral consideration. Now, no, nobody, none of us chose to be born, the species that we're born, the place that we're born. Hell, that's the whole thing about it. Okay, that's cool. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yes.
What's your name?
Amy.
Amy, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you.
Oh,
Amy.
nice to meet you too. I'm smoking.
Yeah, no worries. Where are you from?
The USA,
The USA. We're from US.
St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri. I have not been. My sister lives in North Carolina, so I always ask. Maybe there's a coincidence there, and I'm like, hey, I've been there. I
Yeah,
haven't been to
we're
Missouri.
in the Midwest, and yeah, North Carolina. I hear everybody wants to live there now. It's
Oh, okay.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
I thought so
Yeah,
too. It's a really
yeah.
nice state. Okay, so let me ask you, Amy, you said, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about animals in general, Amy?
I love animals.
You love animals.
Yeah, I do.
Do you think that animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions are impacting them, then we should consider their well-being.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And do you think this applies to all animals or only the animals that we like dogs and cats?
No, all. Really, all.
All
yeah.
animals. Okay. And here comes the hard part.
Yeah.
So when we buy an animal product, like milk, like cheese, like meat,
Yeah.
do you think we are giving them moral consideration to the animals that suffered for that product to be made?
No. And this is the thing, like in the States, I know our farming, our animal treatment is especially bad. And I buy organic milk and I buy the pasture raised or cage free. I try to research the best eggs. But I do eat meat. It's horrible. I feel very guilty and I want to be a vegetarian, but it's really hard. So yeah, I mean, I feel bad. This is an issue for me that's important and also hard. Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I understand maybe in some places it's more difficult than in others. By the way, in Amsterdam it's pretty easy. Oh, your cigarette is off, by the way. Um, like, so let's talk a bit about dairy products, because you mentioned vegetarians, and while I appreciate that you don't want to consume meat, I think you should also not want to consume dairy products. And I
Right.
just want to give you a little bit of an insight on why. Do you
Yeah.
know why cows produce milk in the first place?
Well, okay, so I'm doing a yoga retreat in the middle of the Netherlands, and there are a lot of dairy farms there, and we do walks in the morning, and we hear the cows screaming, and I think it's while they're being milked. I think it must hurt them. Like,
So
I don't know.
That's one
Is
thing.
that one thing?
But let's just start with the whole process. It happens everywhere, by the way, what we're about to say. Like, so cows produce milk for the same reason that a human would produce milk. Is
Lactation for the
lactation.
babies.
For their babies, exactly. So they would have to have a baby. So do you think that they decide when they have babies on their own, or do you think farmers decide for them?
They must decide for them.
Exactly, because it's a business, and it's not. They see animals as merely a product for the business, right?
Yeah.
So indeed, it's called it's called artificial insemination, but it's basically it's forcing them to get pregnant. The procedure, especially in US, most of the times, including in biological farms, the procedure goes like somebody puts their hands in their anus to hold their cervix, and then they inject bull semen in their vagina. And you'll understand why they do this, and they don't normally use a bull. A lot of the farmers will say they don't use a bull because a bull can crush a cow. So they say, well, I'm doing it for them, actually. It's kind of disingenuous to say that. But it's also because, a bull, keeping them alive is expensive for them. And a lot of the times, they kill them.
Oh.
So anyway,
I
when
know,
when
I
the
know.
babies are born, what do you think happens to the babies?
Oh, they kill the babies?
So the first thing that happens is they separate them from their mother, because if they stay with their mother, they would drink their milk, and milk, we farmers have to sell it for everybody, so that's one thing. And yes, if the baby is born male, they kill them. In Netherlands here, there was a report a couple of years ago saying that 1,300 dairy farms were just letting them starve to death, because to them they class them as a waste product. They don't produce milk, so they just either kill them directly, or they grow them up to a bit and sell them to somebody to kill them. But that's essentially what they do to them.
That's horrible.
And females, every year, forceful insemination, just like their mothers. Every year, babies stolen, and every year, milk exploited for milk. Sorry. And at some point, they kill them. Do you know when?
Business?
So they kill them when they can no longer get them pregnant.
Oh,
And that happens after 6 to 8 years of forceful insemination.
this is horrible.
They
So
can live 24 years, so it's like a third of their lifespan.
I can't. You know what? Knowing all this, it really makes me not want to do any of this. Like, I'll do anything to stop it.
And that's the whole
Really?
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can obviously sit and do activism like I do right now, trying to educate people, but the bare minimum you can do is be vegan and not participate in any of this
Okay.
for the animals.
Yeah. I want to do it. Like I'm, my eating habits are terrible. I live in the States. I eat McDonald's. I mean, but you know, for me, like I care about animals, and it's just that like I don't think about it. I detach from all this.
Yeah.
I put it over here. But when I'm confronted with it, like I can't abide by it. I really can't.
And I appreciate that from you. And you know, like, I think like obviously you have some responsibility in the matter.
Yes.
But also you should be very angry at the industry that sells you the lies that they do, because you buy biological because you care about animals, and they sell you this story that
We're
somehow
better to the
biological
animals.
they're somehow better, they have a nice life or something. Everything that I mentioned happens everywhere,
Okay.
even in backyard farms. So it's like they sell you this story and they lie to you so that you buy their products. But at the end of the day, if you're a person who cares about animals, the safest way is to be vegan. I
Okay.
mean, maybe there are some 1 out of a million farms out there that do the right thing, but even then,
We can't all buy from them.
and you'd never know, because that's the whole problem. The reason how we reached this was because of they started cutting corners. You know, like, oh, cow's gonna die anyway, might as well kill them early.
Oh.
The baby's gonna be not staying with their mother anyway their whole life, might as well take them early. And they start cutting corners, and everybody does that because when the product is about exploiting an innocent animal, that's what happens. So how many more animals, this is a difficult question, how many more animals should be exploited for you until you change?
Zero.
Amy, you're awesome, Amy. It's so rare to see a person who's so open and wants to change. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let me give you some resources to help you
Okay.
out. So, if you want to learn more about animal agriculture, you can either watch Dominion. It's
Okay.
actually shot, I think large portions of it are shot in the US. Or you can watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. This is another US speech by a US guy, very good. Dominion is kind of hard to watch, so if you can't muster the violence that animals go through, watch the most important speech. It still teaches you about eggs and everything, because I'm sure you might have questions. So can you just promise me you'll watch one of these two?
Yes, I promise.
I appreciate that. And you have thing, if you scan this QR code, there's a thing there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist, and they send you recipes every day, help you go vegan, all of it for free.
Okay.
It's like, it sounds like it's something you would be useful to you.
I will. I'll look into all of this, and thank you for, talking to me today, because already at this yoga retreat we're talking about animals. It's very much about respecting all life,
Yeah.
recognizing the importance of all souls. It's very important in the yoga culture to be vegan and vegetarian. I've already been really thinking about making the change, and this is pushing me further towards that. So
I appreciate
you.
that. And
Yeah.
don't let too much time pass. Make the
Yes.
change. It's not difficult. It's just like, it only sounds difficult to us because it's a change.
Yeah.
But once you do it, once you're on the other side, like it takes maybe like a month of adjustment. But afterwards, same life.
Yeah.
Literally no difference.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally like every other person on this planet. I kind of eat the same things week over week.
Yeah.
You just gotta find out what those are for a bit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Amy, I appreciate
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you too. Thank
And,
you for doing this.
Yeah, go vegan. You're an awesome
Go
person.
vegan,
Okay,
yes.
I appreciate you. Bye. I mean, wow, such a cool person, Amy. Huh? You know, I was wondering, should I come today? Should I not come today? This kind of stuff, this kind of conversations. We had some pretty good conversations today, but Amy, awesome person. Very nice. It's just very nice. Do you realize how much meat is on one cow? Says Eric. Jesus Christ, Eric. Do you imagine asking this question? Like how desensitized you are to those to the individuality that a cow has. How desensitized you are to this idea that you see them like an object. Do you know how much meat they have? Like Do you know how much meat a human being has? Do you know how much meat I have? Like, look at this. I have muscles, man. I have, I have pretty big muscles. Do you know how much meat I have? Imagine if somebody says that about myself. Like, how fucked up that is to see a sentient individual as a meat product, as a meat carrier to you, nothing more. That's just like you have drank the Kool-Aid that animal agriculture has been selling you, my friend. Don't be that person. Think for yourself, judge for yourself, and don't just buy the shit that people are telling you to buy. Don't just, oh, well, this person told me it's okay to kill cows because cows are somehow inferior. No, they're not. They're just like all other sentient beings. They deserve moral consideration, they deserve empathy, they deserve our respect, and they definitely should not be exploited, slaughtered, or used as milk machines, as meat machines, or as anything. They're beings, man. They have an experience of the world. There's a somebody in there. If they could talk, they would say I. They would say I. Imagine that. Imagine somebody who would say me, I. You are cutting the throat of somebody who can say me and I in their own language, and you are cutting and you are doing all that because you have some, I don't know, preconceived notion that it's okay to do it. It's not. It's just not. Don't be that guy. And look at that, Eric. All of a sudden, you changed the goalpost. You sure a fish would say that? Yeah, man. They're sentient. Fish cannot speak, though, but they can communicate. And if a fish can communicate, they can definitely communicate I or me. Yeah, that's the pretty basic thing. I find it so interesting. I find not interesting. Sorry, I find it weird that you assume that only humans have the capability to know that there's a self there. There's not. There's plenty of animals have that. Not plenty of animals can identify the self. That's a different thing, sure. That requires some cognitive abilities that not all animals have that. But you know what? There's human beings on this planet who also don't have that capability, sadly, because they were born with a mental issue. Maybe they had an accident or something. So let's not judge individuals based on their cognitive abilities, but rather let's just judge them based on, are they individuals? Yes. Okay, then let's not exploit them. Simple. Wait, do we need to exploit them? No, then let's not exploit them. Do we need to exploit them? Shit. How can we do it without exploiting them? Ah, fuck. Do we really need to? Can we find a solution? Like all of this, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Lars van Sever says 1.2 euros and the cat sticker. Thank you so much, Lars. Thank you. And everybody, if you're enjoying the stream so far, hey, hit that like, hit that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I do this quite often, normally. To blow my nose, I'm sorry, everybody. Oh, the star child, the highly illogical person. Man, it's so funny because the people who keep coming back to this channel who are like essentially trolls who are fighting against animal rights, by the way, like imagine that. Imagine fighting against animal rights. Imagine being a person who comes to the streams of people fighting for animal rights and trying to make it hard for them to fight for animal rights. Imagine like it's one thing to not care about animals, but imagine how much you must hate animals to be coming onto these streams and saying the most ridiculous dumb shit ever. And then when you are confronted with it, when somebody explains you, when somebody is trying to be logical and empathetic even towards you and tries to make you understand a different perspective that maybe you were never taught, and then you start spiraling and spewing even more information and coming back and back again and saying the same shit over and over again, then you, my friend, you don't just don't care about animals, you effectively hate animals if you do that. And that's a disgusting thing to be, because animals never did anything to you. Okay. So please, if you're not vegan, come back to the channel. Come back to the streams. Subscribe. Come here. Have conversations. Have your doubts. Discuss them. You know what? Don't be convinced by one single argument. That's okay. We're not here to tell you, well, no, listen to me. We're here to actually challenge you. We're here to challenge your beliefs. So don't be convinced just like that. But also don't be so firm in your position that you're like, you know what? No, this is the right thing. Because it might not be. Just be open. Be open to the idea. Be open to changing your idea. We all are. I am. If you're going to tell me that consuming animal products will result to absolutely no exploitation of animals, then why would I not consume animal products? It's pretty simple. It's the same. We care about animals. We don't care what you eat. We don't care what you use. We care about who is exploited in that process. And not just in that process, but specifically for that process. Because you know what? There's a difference in exploitation existing in a process, which it does happen when you buy phones, when you buy clothes, when you buy all this kind of stuff. There will be exploitation happening. But when it comes to animal products, for example, exploitation is inherent in the system. The system depends on it. There is absolutely no way to create an animal product without exploiting an animal. Sadly, it's just not. I mean, you could say lab-grown meat, although that was also in the research of it. It was used. Animals were exploited a lot for it. But yeah, but you understand the point, right? I cut meat for a living, says Glenn Quagmire. Yeah, you know what? That kind of sucks. If you're in that position where you have to do that for a living, it's a different thing. But you don't have to also do it for yourself, do you? You don't also have to buy meat. You don't also have to support animal exploitation, do you? You do it for a living, and if you can change it, then sure, change it. But if not, you love your job. Wow, that's insane. Loving to cut the flesh of a sentient being. Like, I was actually, every time I go to the gym in the morning, I pass by a butchery, and I'm on my bike, nice and something. I draw a corner, and then I flip the butchery off, because that's just regular, and we should all be doing this. If there's a butchery, flip them off. That's what they do. They're essentially a place where people are cutting other individuals. They're cutting them. They're cutting the flesh of corpses. It's insane. But the fact that a butcher, this name itself, a butcher, the fact that we normalized it so much that we doesn't even bother us anymore, the term butcher. In fact, hell, I know people who say, well, I go to the butcher, as if something that they're doing is good. A butcher butchers, what the fuck? It's like a person who cuts individuals into pieces. How the fuck have we normalized this insane? Like, this is insane to me. It's just, we've normalized this so much that somebody who does something extremely shitty to other individuals, we somehow see it as, it's better. It's better. It's insane. Eric says he's about to cry. Eric, I'm not about to cry, but even if I were about to cry, why would that matter? Why? Do you have a problem with men expressing themselves through crying? Do you think I would be less of a man if I cried? I wouldn't. Crying is beautiful. People should cry more. This man is unstable. How dare I make statements about your preconceived notions that you are born with? How dare I tell you that all animals deserve moral consideration? How dare I tell you to reach into your empathetic and fairness side of your humanity? How dare I not let you exploit and slaughter innocent sentient beings for optional products of all things? How dare I? Hey Erwin, nice to see you here. It's not your statements, it's your irrational behavior. Wait. My irrational behavior, that means walking from here to here? Is that the behavior that you have a problem with? Or is it my talking? Because you said not my statements, you said my behavior. So just, you think it's irrational for me to walk from here to here? Good job, buddy. You just proved yourself to be a great debater. In fact, you're a master debater. Man should be masculine, not weak. Yeah, because the most masculine thing an individual can do is pick on the defenseless, sexually exploit them as much as you can because they're defenseless and weak, and then kill them. Oh, that's so manly. You're right. I forgot. That's so manly. Imagine how manly that is, huh? You are exhibiting traits of psychopathy. No, I am not. You probably don't even know what psychopathy is. It's so funny to me that you try to sound smart and say some of the most dumbest shit ever, man. Come on. Somebody asked me, do you enjoy doing this? I actually kind of enjoy doing this. I also enjoy kind of roasting some of the arguments that I see and hear because some of the arguments are just so silly. And, I would not roast your arguments if it were something, an opinion or something. I'm like, everybody's entitled to have an opinion or something. But when your opinion or when your statements are fighting against the rights of sentient individuals, then you deserve some roasting. You deserve it. Yeah, the animal slavery business uses a lot of these hypermasculine myths. The thing is, that's just the thing. Like all of these people who come into these chats and the vegan chats, and some of them are actually genuinely interested. They genuinely have arguments, and that's beautiful when they do that. But a lot of them behave so childish. They come in here and they put meat emojis. They do the most ridiculous stuff. You're not better than me or stuff like, as if that was ever the argument. We're here talking about animal rights, about sentient beings, and here you are victimizing yourself. That's so insane. And yeah, everybody, if you're enjoying me roasting comments from non-vegans that are silly, well, not even non-vegans, but rather comments from trolls, because that's what I like, trolling. I don't mind if you're not vegan and you have questions, we can genuinely tackle those, and I will genuinely answer those. But if you just have, hi, yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yes, okay.
Can you come closer so that you're in
Yes.
this? What are your names?
Malene.
Malane, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
You want to do it too?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
okay.
What's your name?
Ron.
Rune. Where are you guys from?
Here from Holland.
Okay, love it. I'm from Romania, but I live here in Amsterdam. So let me ask you, how do you feel about animals in general?
We love them.
You love them?
We don't keep them, but we love them, yeah.
Okay, okay. Do you think animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions are impacting them, then we should consider their well-being.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
We're not
Yeah.
vegetarians, so there we go.
Here,
Okay.
and we get to the crux of it, right? Because my next question was going to be, do we think all animals deserve that, or only the ones that we like?
That's a good question, really. I think they all deserve it. But we eat them, so
Yeah.
Do you think, is that giving them moral consideration?
no, but I think they shouldn't be even be born because we
We also bred them for that purpose,
Yes.
to kill them and eat
Yes.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
So you think they shouldn't be born for that purpose?
No, I think, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
that is double, yes.
Yeah. But then if you buy an animal product, you are paying for us to breed them to life,
Yes,
to kill them,
yes,
right?
that's a
Yeah.
circle, right?
Yeah.
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 So then
Yes.
when you say that shouldn't happen, but then you pay for it to happen, isn't that a contradiction?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a contradiction
Yeah.
in terms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, but the other way, we come from farms, so it's the work of our families.
Yeah.
So and it's their work and the feed of our children. It's so it's double.
But do we
Yeah.
need to do any of it to animals?
Sorry.
Do we need to do any of it? Can we survive and thrive without doing this to animals?
I don't know.
I don't
I,
know,
don't,
I
I,
don't
I think we need meat.
Yeah.
I'm
What
not,
if you were to find out that we don't?
because I think the alternative that we have right now is not that good either.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like not that good in what way?
Oh, because the soya production, the avocados with all the water that needs.
So what's the problem with
beans,
soya or avocado?
They drain the earth.
Yeah.
But is there a moral issue with them?
Not the soya itself, but the way
No.
it's produced.
Yeah.
So if there's no moral issue with it itself, but there is a moral issue with animal product, shouldn't we tackle moral issues first? Like, let's imagine this: if we killed off half the human population,
Yeah.
the environment would be monumentally better. We would
Yeah.
use less water, less land, everything. But we wouldn't do that because it would be immoral, right?
But is it? Should we?
So
half
morality comes first. That's my point.
But should we halve the population of the human being? Is that not the
No.
solution?
No, no, no.
not?
I don't think we should. I don't think we should. I think every human being deserves to live just as much as you do, just as much as I do.
But maybe we're with too many on this little earth.
Well, would you accept that if somebody took your life, that we're too many on this earth, so might as well kill you?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a thing to think about that we stay alive longer and longer. The medical keep us alive longer and longer. We live till we're 90, 100.
So you would be okay with somebody killing
I
you or
would-
your husband
No,
with the intent of saying there's
I
too
would
many
be
people
okay
on this
if I
planet?
can decide my life is enough at 80 and we have a good
Yeah.
life and then now
But
it's
that's
the
still
next.
you choosing when, right? Killing somebody against their
Yeah.
consent when they don't want to choose would still inherently be wrong.
Do we go somewhere with this?
Yeah,
or-
well, it doesn't really matter. You're right. Like when it comes back to animals, we do the same thing, right? We kill them against their consent, and we kill them when we think it's the right time to kill them, not when they want to die, right? Although they probably never want to die. But
Is that not always with animals? Animals kills animals also.
perhaps, but like
Yeah.
we as humans don't do what animals do we? Because animals also rape other animals. Animals also commit infanticide where they kill babies. We as humans don't say, well, animals do that, therefore I should do that. So if we pick and choose and say, well, animals eat animals, therefore I can do that, it's kind of like, well, you're being disingenuous because you're not saying anything that an animal can do, I can do, right? So we have developed this thing called morality where we say, well, that would be wrong to do. So we do not need animal products. I'm a certified nutritionist. You don't have to trust me on any of this. You can look it up yourself. Nowadays, we can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet. So anything that we do to animals is essentially optional to us. So knowing that, don't you think it's extremely cruel to each individual animal, the fact that we pay for them to be brought to life only to be killed?
Yeah, but I don't feel it really like you do. Yes, because we grew up in that, in that environment. Like you have cows, you have milk, you make cheese, you have chickens.
Yeah.
But you're a woman, right? Like imagine if I grew up in an environment where I disrespect women and I start disrespecting
Where we live, right?
Yeah, yeah.
we
that is
still
where
do it. So
we
we
are.
still do it. We still do some extent.
Yes.
I'll grant you that we still do. But it wouldn't be. It would. I should. If you see somebody actively doing that, you wouldn't be saying, "Well, you're right. You grew up that way." You would be saying, "No, you have to change because other individuals are suffering because of what you're doing."
Yes, yes.
So
I agree that
Yeah.
we have to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that takes some time.
It does
Yeah.
take some time indeed
Yeah.
for the society to change, but we as individuals, like if you go to a supermarket now, if you go to a restaurant, you make a choice yourself, and for you the only thing you have to do is just make a different choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The minute you make a choice for an animal product, everything that animal went through, exploitation, slaughter, all of it, you just start supporting it, and another animal will go into the same process because you did that. So you can make that choice, but all these animals, they cannot make that choice, those choices. because
You're
of
right.
you.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
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 So here comes the difficult question. How many more animals should be exploited and slaughtered for you until you make a change?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't want to be hypocrite, but I think when I go to dinner this night, I think I take a fish.
Yeah.
I
That's
think-
the worst one, you know that?
Yes, and I think yes.
Would you drown the dog? Would you take a dog and put their head in the water so that they die and then you eat their flesh?
Yeah, but I still do it. I know it's maybe it's
That's
not
exactly
moral,
what
but
we
Yeah.
do to fish.
Yes.
We take
Yeah.
them out of water.
Yeah.
They asphyxiate.
yes, but then I also think they are here for food. Fish.
Fish are here for food.
Yes, fish are here for food. Animals,
Do
yeah.
you believe in evolution?
No, we go to. I wanna.
Because we evolved from fish. That's what I mean. So do
Yeah.
you think we are also here for food?
Yeah, but we also came from. When you go back, we were hunters. We didn't hunt the coleslaw.
No, but what I
No.
what I meant by that is that we're all individuals, and if they have a subjective experience, do you know what the subjective experience is? So subjective experience is like you go through life, you experience emotions, you experience actions, and it makes you feel one way, and then you remember it back. You remember the experience. This is you basically live your life through the experiences that you're having, and that's what you have. You think of yourself as a you. That's exactly what animals do also, including fish. So for us to take away their life just because we can always choose something else, but for us to take their life away just because I see you as a food. I don't really care that you're an individual, but I see you as a food. It's just like a misogynist would see a woman as an object. They don't really care that they're an individual, but they see them as an object. It's not really fair, is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, can I give you a
Madison?
card, but
Yeah.
only if you promise me to look into it.
Oh, no, don't keep it.
No, you're not going to look into it?
I don't know, but I can't promise.
Why is that then?
Yeah, maybe we go out tonight and then you think, oh, your card.
But you can look tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
okay.
So you want to give it to me?
I want you to look into it. I want people to get educated about what you're paying
Okay,
because you
that's
might not
good.
be okay with it.
You have a good go.
I don't have a financial incentive in the game. Like animal agriculture has that. They'll tell you whatever you need to hear to buy their product. I'm not here for that. So just watch the menu. You just gotta scan this QR code.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And make better choices. Come on, it's for them. If you were in their shoes, you wouldn't want those choices made. Okay. Eh. She was getting a bit defensive, wasn't she? And he was just waiting for her answers. He was just like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, what she says. Like he wasn't really, I feel like he wasn't really engaging with the argument. He was just repeating what she was saying a little bit more. Kevin Lacroix says the people commenting are also a joke. I don't know, Kevin Lacroix, what you're experiencing there in the comment section. But yeah, we're here to have conversations with people on the street. We're here to ask statements. So Kevin Lacroix, if you're not vegan and you have questions, ask them away. I can maybe answer them if I see it. I'm all about seeing things here. I only see like 4 things, by the way. Wenson says you got on Planet Peterson. Congrats. Yeah, I mean, I waited like 45 minutes in line to talk to him, and I had a conversation with him. Wasn't the greatest. I was kind of nice, but I also felt like I didn't really address a lot of the concerns that he did. I didn't push at all, so I wasn't the happiest about it. She was the boss in that relationship. Yeah, she was. Did you read your Bible this morning, sir? No, why would I read the Bible? Of all the things to read every morning, I think like that's the silliest thing you can do as a human being. Like you literally, like, okay, if you want to read the Bible, read the Bible. That's okay. Read the Bible once, read the Bible twice. Hell, read it 3 times if you want to. But to read it every morning, why? What do you stand to gain from it? If you read it already, you already have the information. Why would you read it again? So funny. And it's so funny to me, like, what was it? I saw this video that was shared on social media from Gary Yourofsky, saying that it's so insane that people will go to a barbecue, they will burn the flesh of a sentient individual, somebody who didn't want to die, somebody who was a somebody who had a subjective experience with the world, was an individual. They go and they burn that flesh and they all feel okay. Hell, in fact, they love the smell of that burnt flesh. But then, if you burn a Bible, all of a sudden it's such a big problem. So many people will have a problem. It's so insane that we value one object over an individual. And I understand that the point is that, well, that value, that object has a symbolic meaning to it, but we shouldn't be focusing on symbol. The moment that symbolism is more important than individuals is the moment when we failed as a society. I'm just saying. It's the moment when we as a society are like, maybe we gotta reconsider some things. Somebody asked me if I'm pro-choice. Yes, I'm pro. If you ask me, I will describe it in a short sentence. I don't want to discuss about abortion right now. My view is morally consistent, and I am pro-sentience, if you want to understand what that is. But even with that statement, I am pro-sentience, and abortion should never be illegal. You want to try it?
Yes, let's talk.
Are you okay being live
do I
for my
win?
YouTube channel? Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's fine.
What's your name?
Hector Montenegro.
Nice to meet you, Hector Montenegro. Where are you from?
I'm from Austin, Texas.
I thought you were from Montenegro. That would have been
Montenegro,
perfect.
that's my kingdom,
That's
the
your kingdom,
Montenegro.
yeah. So from Austin, Texas. Okay, Hector, how do you feel about animals in general?
Oh, I love animals. I mean, we need to preserve our environment in order to sustain the wildlife that already exists because we're losing so many species and they're the ones that keep the ecosystem going.
Okay. Do you think that animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions are impacting them, then we should consider their well-being.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Because of the environmental destruction that's going on, climate change, you look at the coral reefs around the world, you look at the natural habitats that are being deforested, and it's really disrupting the ecological systems in which we depend on.
And I appreciate that, of course, there's the environment, but when I speak about this, I mainly am interested in individuals more than environmental
Oh, yeah,
concerns
sure.
of it, right? So if there's on one individual animal and you are doing something that affects them, do you think you should consider their well-being?
Yeah, absolutely, all the time.
Yeah, okay, I appreciate that. Do you think this applies to all animals or just the ones that we like cats and dogs?
Well, I think it should, we should have some consideration for all animals.
Okay. Do you think that when we're buying an animal product, like meat, cheese, eggs, or stuff like that, are we giving moral consideration to the animal that suffered for that product?
Probably not, because we're so accustomed to the meats, we're so accustomed to even processed food that are a byproduct of animal, products, and yeah, we need to rethink that.
We need to rethink that. Do you think we need to consume animal products?
Do what?
Do you think we need to consume animal products?
I mean, people, advocates for it, talk about the protein and the balanced diet, not at the huge quantities and amounts that we do now. I mean, there's speculation as to whether or not that results in cancer and other chronic illnesses, in the long
Yeah,
run.
like it is, red meat is, I think, type 2B carcinogenic for
Right.
colon cancer. But like outside of our health implications, we don't need to consume animal products. I'm a certified nutritionist. You don't have to trust me. Everything I say, you can look it up yourself.
I mean, you can get your proteins from...
yeah, exactly. You can get all the nutrients that you need from a plant-based diet, right?
Absolutely.
And you also, given that you said about the environmental concerns, do you also know that a plant-based diet is a quarter of that of an animal-based diet?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Like
yeah.
as a footprint.
Uh-huh.
So, as an environmentalist, as a person who says you care about animals and that they deserve moral consideration, do you think that you have an obligation to stop paying for animal products so that you consider them morally, animally, so that you consider animals morally and you do the right environmental thing?
Yeah, I mean, I've shifted my diet to more plant-based meals, and so I look at other products besides those that are directly derived from animal sources.
Yeah, and that's already an excellent thing. But like, let's assume you consume one animal product per month. That one time when you do that, you are paying, you are supporting the exploitation that one animal had to endure for that
Yeah,
product to be made.
sure.
And in that process, another animal will be exploited, so that the product gets, so that the shelf gets refilled.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
And that sounds like it's not in line with your values, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of animal, shoes, leather, things that we rely on.
It's not just
They're
food, it's leather, yeah.
byproducts, byproducts of animals.
But we don't need any of that, right? Like leather, obviously we don't. We can live
I'm
without
sure
leather.
there are a lot of substitutes.
Yeah,
available now,
exactly.
yeah. So, well, that sounds like a good interview. Is there a point here that you want me to take or
I
a
want
position?
you to go. So I'll be honest with you. I have these conversations with people because I want more people to go vegan. Vegan
No, I
literally
agree.
means people
Yeah.
should not be paying for any of it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll ask you one hard question, and it will be basically the end question. How many more animals should be exploited and slaughtered for you
For me,
until you change? Yeah.
none. I don't want any of them killed at all.
That means you gotta go vegan, man. That means you
Okay.
gotta go vegan.
Go vegan.
Go
All
vegan.
right.
Let
Live
me-
forever.
Let me give you a card before you go, and I urge you to watch either The Minion or the most important speech you'll ever hear.
Sounds good.
And you have a thing there called Challenge 22.
Uh-huh.
They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day,
Yeah.
and help you go vegan for free.
Sounds good. Thank you very
Sounds
much.
good? Okay.
Wish you much success.
Promise me you'll watch one of these two videos.
I will. You got it.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
Have a good one. This guy is cool. I agree. This guy was cool. Yeah. I think we have time maybe for one more conversation. I don't know how many we'll have. But yeah, I think we've been having some pretty good conversations today, huh? I was surprised by how many like, I don't know. I'm just enjoying the conversations so far. You missed the point, Neil. Oh, yeah, awesome combo. I agree. I agree. I agree. I think an interesting thing to call ourselves would be pro-consent. We are pro-consent people. That's what we are. We think consent is important. We think we should not be doing anything to anybody if there isn't consent. I missed it. Been playing with power tools, says Tone. That's okay, Tone. It was a pretty good conversation. You can watch it back if you want. You don't have to, of course. No. By the way, there's no obligation here on this channel. I appreciate everybody for being here. Hey, buddy. Appreciate everybody for being here. Appreciate everybody for, liking the stream, for engaging with the comments. Dano says veganism is a religion. Dano, veganism is not a religion. It's a moral principle of rejecting animal exploitation. It's as much as a religion as feminism is. If you think feminism is a religion, then you should think veganism is a religion also. But both would be nonsensical arguments. Standing up to injustice is not standing up. The bare minimum of standing up to injustice is not a religion. And the thing about it, injustice, is that when injustice is prevalent, the moment you reject that injustice, the moment you no longer participate in that injustice, of course, you will try to speak up and get other people to stop participating in that injustice because you see the injustice in the world. And that, to some people, some people may find that as a religious thing, because religion people also, when there's Christians who become Christian and they start going on the street and trying to get people to go Christian. There's other religions. So I'm assuming that you made that statement that veganism is a religion based on that. But as I said, time and time again, this is not. I'm sure that you have the intellectual capacity or capability to understand the difference, that both have a similar consequence, and that is trying to get people to stop participating in something. But they both have completely different moral motivations behind them, right? One is to stand up to an injustice, one is to get more people to not participate in an injustice, and the other is to, I don't know, get more people into your religion or some shit, I don't even know. And yes, of course, those videos. Of course I'm this because this. Of course I'm this because this. I should say, of course I'm vegan because I'm not selfish. They know. Oh, they know. I see you've quickly moved on to the next statement. Animals will fill the planet if we don't eat them. No, they will not. Animals are brought into existence by us for the sole purpose of us killing them. If you think that that is not already fucked up enough, it will help you understand, right? Animals are brought into existence by us for the sole purpose of exploiting and killing them. As more and more people gradually switch to a plant-based diet, well, gradually, I don't mean each individual should switch gradually, but society switches gradually. Each individual should switch like this. And as more and more individuals switch gradually, as I said, as a society, less and less animals are brought into existence. And yes, at some point, we will reach a critical mass. But you know what? When we reach that critical mass of animals that we've brought into existence and we no longer want to exploit or slaughter them, we'll deal with that then, okay? I would say we have enough money to take care of them, given that we subsidize the hell out of these industries that bring them to life, exploit and slaughter them. So yeah, let's put the money in the right things. Let's not be assholes, I would say, right? Let's be compassionate, fair individuals. You don't even have to be compassionate, you just have to be fair. Badger Boy says, I need milk for my bones though. The funny thing is, milk isn't even a good source for calcium, which is, I guess you don't even know that, but like, there's plenty of better plant-based sources of calcium. And if you have a calcium deficiency, I urge you to take a supplement more than anything, but there's plenty of plant sources of calcium. So Don't even go down that road. Like it's not worth it. Drinking milk. Oh, I pay for a cow to be sexually exploited, have their babies stolen from them, and babies killed, and that cow killed when they can no longer get pregnant. Also, that I can have a micronutrient that I can get from other sources, but I want to get it from their titties. That's basically drinking milk. I'm sure there's plenty. And by the way, everything that I say, hell, look it up. I'm not here to. I'm not here to say trust me. I'm not one of those people. I'm here to, in fact, don't trust me. Look it up. Hell, if you are here new to the channel and you're trying and you're like, what the hell do I do? I'm like, who do I trust? I'm gonna tell you straight on. Don't trust me and don't trust all the other sources. Look it up yourself because that's what I want you to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to tell you to look it up. I'm here to tell you to think for yourself a little bit. Don't just go with the crowd. Don't just go with what everybody is doing. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself? You want to be part of the right side of history? Then be part of the right side of history. Don't be a dick. Don't be on the wrong side. Don't be the person who supports oppression, exploitation, violence. Don't be that. Violence is not cool. Oppression is not cool. Hey, Latva. Nice to see you here. Hey, Krista. Love and bliss to all. Yeah, including animals. Who pissed off Chip today? Nobody pissed me off. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, well, I think we're gonna have to end everybody because my organizer is here. Hello.
Hey.
Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel? No?
Not at all.
Not at all. She's not okay being live from my YouTube channel. There you go. But we're gonna have to end everybody here because we're gonna start the We the Free event. So I hope you subscribed. I gotta give a shout out to Draculum because Draculum did solve the last riddle and was the first in 4 seconds or something to drop a comment. Impressive. Yeah, so if you're new to the channel, what we do here is we give shout outs to people who drop a comment first. And that's what we're gonna do right now. So if you drop a comment first, Draculum is already waiting for it. I see that. If you can beat Draculum, you're definitely gonna be getting a shout out, but nobody can beat Draculum. He's on fire today. So, and every day. So thank you so much everybody for being here. Hey, if you're not vegan, there's a 3-minute video in the description of this stream. I want you to watch that. It takes 3 minutes out of your life. Just consider it as the beginning of your information. Just don't see it as, oh, I trust this. No, consider it the beginning of your information. Go look it up. Inform yourself, because you know what, you might not be okay with what you're supporting. Okay, and make changes. It's easy. If you need help, come back to the streams, come back to the channel, drop comments, and if not, you okay?
I'm even too short to give you bunny ears. Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much for everybody who donated. Thank you so much for everybody who had conversations here. And I'll see you in the next one. I don't know yet when the next one will be. I'm expecting Wednesday, but I don't know for sure. That's what I'm expecting. Have an awesome day, everybody. And respect all animals. All animals deserve respect, okay? Bye-bye.